From your hometown news leader, this is News 4 at 6. With Kinsley Centers, Chief Meteorologist David Paul, and Sports Director Brianna Jones.
Nearly 30 years after high school senior Kimberly Ramer was last seen alive, her disappearance still haunts the small South Alabama town of Opp. News 4's Mia Nelson shares in her series Unsolved the relentless search for Kimberly and why her mother and police vow to never quit looking.
For 27 years, time has ticked.
When I look at these, I just want to hug her so much.
But for Sue Infinger, the clock isn't running out. She is as determined as ever to find out what happened to her daughter.
I am going to find out what happened to my daughter if it takes me the rest of my life.
A 17-year-old with so much life ahead.
She was just an all-American girl, you know, and we loved her so much.
Infinger, as all parents do for their children, had high hopes for Kimberly.
We had so many dreams for her, you know, and then they were all shattered.
On August 15th, 1997, Kimberly went to a ball game and later went home to her father's house, the last place she is known to have been. A couple days later, Infinger gets a call from Kimberly's father.
And he said, "Is Kimberly with you?" I said, "Well, no, she's supposed to be with you." He said, "Well, she's not here, and I can't find her."
That's when panic set in.
Kimberly would not have gone off and not told somebody, you know, because she wasn't like that. I was just getting scared, you know, because I was thinking, oh my God, something's happened to her. I don't know what.
From that day forth, no one actually knows what exactly happened to her. It's been a mystery for all this time.
Today, David Harrell is the Assistant Chief of Police in Opp. Back then, when he had been in law enforcement for only 1 year, he took the missing person report.
As the days went on and you weren't finding her, what was starting to run through your mind?
Worst case scenario. A lot of questions that were not being answered, that nobody had the answers for.
He doesn't believe Kimberly left the house on her own that night.
There was evidence that kind of lended itself to give us some indication that she was not taken from that house on her free will.
Her car was there, her contacts were there, everything was there.
Investigators have a person of interest, but they need evidence.
I've done a lot of thinking about that. I think, in my mind, I know who did it.
As life continues here in Opp, Alabama, also known as the City of Opportunity, investigators remain persistent in their pursuit of the truth. They're hopeful that perhaps one day the opportunity to solve the case will come.
God will bring this to light, and it will be in His time.
And while time passes, this case remains on Harrell's mind.
Every time I wake up, when I walk in the office, is this the day? Is this the day when we're going to find her? Hadn't happened yet, but it will.
You think about it every day?
Every single day.
We just loved her so much.
For Infinger, it's time to bring this case to a close.
I want to be able to bury her. I just hope we can find her. Please, God, help us. You know, please let us have some answers about Kimberly.
I'm Mia Nelson, your hometown news leader.
If you have any information about Kimberly's disappearance, Opp Police ask you to share it with them. They're also working closely with the Walton County Sheriff's Office on the case.
We're not trying to be a detective. We're not trying to be investigators. We're just trying to help.
Tomorrow night on News 4 at 6, News 4's Caroline Gerhardt shows us how a true crime club in Walton County is trying to help fit together the puzzle pieces of Kimberly Ramer's disappearance.
From your hometown news leader, this is News 4 at 6. With Kinsley Centers, Chief Meteorologist David Paul, and Sports Director Brianna Jones.
From podcasts to documentaries, clubs, and TV shows, true crime could be considered the hottest topic of conversation. Librarians at the Walton County Library took note and decided to use that popularity to bring light to an unsolved case that hit close to home. News 4's fact finder Caroline Gerhardt introduces us to the Coastal True Crime Club and their mission to help find Kimberly Ramer.
Deanna Smith and Daniel Bradley work at the Walton County Public Library.
I know for me personally, the reason I started doing what I'm doing is to help the community.
Serving their community has taken on a new meaning for the pair with the inception of a new club. It started with a question.
What about a true crime club?
Whose answer sparked the fire that is the Coastal True Crime Club and podcast, Missing or Murdered. What happened to Kimberly Ramer, that is. 17-year-old Ramer vanished in August 1997 in Opp.
The first thing I said was Kem Ramer because I was born in Opp and, I was familiar with the case. I graduated high school in 96. She came up missing in 97.
Before they hit the ground running, Smith was careful to ensure this group was honoring Ramer and her family.
And if we're going to do this, we need to do it the right way. We need to make sure that we have Kim's mom on board with it, Kim's family and friends on board with it, because I don't want to overstep my boundary.
Ramer's mom, friends, and the community gave an enthusiastic green light, eager to get the word out about her disappearance.
I am so excited about that, because I think that they are bringing in more and more information.
This is real people's real life. Real people are affected.
The club invites guests to each meeting, including the officials working on the case.
It was helpful to me to see where some of the concerns of the community were. Is this something we're going to have to, could this happen again in the city of Opp?
The group started with just 25 members, but their online presence has skyrocketed.
We do lives where we do like a Q&A with the, community. And then, so we do our lives, but we also record, like Daniel said, our in-person meetings. And I know that we're in the thousands on those.
Between the club meetings, podcast, and online following, their mission remains the same.
We're not trying to be a detective. We're not trying to be investigators. We're just trying to help. If we could have a perfect ending to this, with the Kem Ramer case, would be just to bring Kim home to her mama.
And thank y'all so much for that.
Finding the facts for you, I'm Caroline Gerhardt.
If you're interested in joining the Coastal Crime Club or listening to their podcast, you can find the information in this story on our website. That's WTVY.com.